Most people don't enter relationships wanting to control, dominate, or make everything orbit around themselves. It doesn't begin that way. It begins with pressure, with misunderstanding, with the quiet fear of not being enough or not being seen. Avoiding narcissism in relationships isn't about shrinking yourself. It's about staying present with others. Everyone has an ego. Everyone wants to feel valued. The problem isn't having those needs. It's organizing the relationship around protecting them. Healthy relationships aren't ego-free. They're ego-aware. Narcissism usually shows up right where discomfort lives. Criticism, misunderstanding, not being prioritized, feeling unseen. The reflex is fast. Defend, explain, correct, withdraw, regain control. Avoiding narcissism begins with one quiet choice. Pause instead of protect. Can I stay curious instead of reactive? Can I listen without rehearsing my defense? Can I feel exposed without trying to regain power? Discomfort isn't danger, it's information. Narcissism grows quietly through indirect control, talking around someone instead of to them, withholding instead of speaking, letting silence punish. These moves feel safer than honesty, but they build power, not intimacy. If I'm talking about my partner more than to them, something's already slipping. Directness builds trust. Indirectness builds control. One of the hardest lessons is this: being wrong is not humiliation. Disagreement is not disrespect. Boundaries are not rejection. When self-worth depends on being right, connection becomes fragile. Let your worth stay steady even when you're challenged. Narcissism shrinks reality to one perspective. You counter it by making room. Room for another inner world, another experience, another truth that doesn't cancel yours. Empathy isn't agreement, it's recognition. When both inner worlds matter, control loosens its grip. Every relationship has power. Who repairs? Who adapts? Who sets the tone? Who gets heard? Narcissism appears when power is used to avoid accountability, silence discomfort, or protect ego instead of connection. Ask yourself gently, am I using this moment to feel safe or to feel superior? Narcissistic patterns care deeply about image, looking good, being justified, avoiding shame. Healthy relationships care about repair, saying, I see how that hurt you, without explaining yourself into innocence. Changing behavior instead of defending intent. Repair is where maturity lives. Narcissism thrives in echo chambers. If no one can disagree with you, if no one can say no, if no one can challenge you, intimacy is already thinning. Stay connected to people who don't need your approval. Friction, handled with care, keeps relationships alive. And don't use love to regulate your self-esteem. Partners are companions, not mirrors. Ask yourself, am I seeking closeness or reassurance? Care or validation? Learning to soothe yourself reduces the urge to control others. Certainty feels powerful. Curiosity builds intimacy. When you feel the urge to conclude, to label, to win, slow down. Relationships don't break from uncertainty. They break from rigid certainty. Healthy relationships aren't the most intense. They're the safest. Not dramatic, not consuming, but mutual. Avoiding narcissism in relationships isn't about shrinking yourself. It's about staying present with others. If you can reflect on your impact, tolerate discomfort, and choose repair over control, you're already doing the work. Growth doesn't require losing yourself. It requires keeping yourself in relationship.